This is it. Finally, after begging and pleading, we have received the AIM character rework that we have all wanted ever since this game was released. Now, I have been pushing AIM for a little while now, mostly as a joke, but I was always very intrigued by their kits, what they could do, and I really wanted to try to make them work. Now, recently I did find some good utility with AIM security with Ultron on defense in war, but outside of that, AIM has always been extremely lackluster. However, recently we were told that we were going to be getting Graviton, the new AIM character, in the next update. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have for you the character kit for Graviton, the character kits for the AIM Reworks, the character kit for Agent Coulson, and as a surprise bonus, we are going to have a character rework for Wolverine, and we're going to show you what that is too. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. So first, we are going to take a look at Graviton himself. Now, Graviton is going to be a villain tech character, and here are what his ability is going to do. So his first ability is called Gravity Well, and Gravity Well will attack the primary target for 250% damage and bonus attack for 100% damage per negative effect on the target. Now with an AIM team, that's going to get pretty devastating pretty quick. His second ability, Crushing Force, is going to be a 3 energy ability and will start full. That will attack the primary target for 300% damage, apply 2 slow, up to a maximum of 5 to the primary target and adjacent targets. If Scientist Supreme is an ally, he'll apply bleed to the primary target and adjacent targets, and this attack, as I stated earlier, does cost 3 ability. His ultimate Singularity is going to be 6 energy, and he's going to be able to fire this off right out of the gate. He's going to attack the primary target for 300% damage, plus 100% additional damage per negative effect, and apply stun. This ability is going to be absolutely insane. Now, his passive is going to be Weight of the World, and when an enemy drops below 50% health, he will increase the duration of their negative effects by 1, up to a maximum of 5. All AIM minion allies are going to gain plus 20% damage, and all AIM minion allies will also gain plus 20% max health. In war, on his turn, he will change the speed bar of the enemy with the highest speed by negative 25%, and when an enemy drops below 75% health, he will apply Disrupted. This guy is going to be really massive, and he is going to kind of elevate the AIM team to a level that they have not seen in forever. Next, we have Scientist Supreme. Her basic is going to be Serum Pistol, and the new text on this is going to be attack primary target for 240% damage and apply 2 random negative effects to the primary target. Her special will be Field's Trial, and this one is going to flip 4 negative effects into positive effects for all allies. Apply 2 regeneration to self and all AIM allies. Increase duration of positive effect on self and all AIM allies. And increase the duration of positive effects on self and all AIM allies by 1, up to a maximum of 3. Now, I don't know if this was a mistype here, as it says increase duration twice. We'll have to kind of wait and see what her final text is going to be. Her ultimate is going to be Retro Vaccination, and what this is going to do is going to heal all allies for 3,500 health plus 15% of her max health. She will then apply 2 to 3 random negative effects to all non-AIM allies and all enemies for 2 turns. She gains 50% extra focus per each AIM ally for this attack. Now, her focus is already pretty good. I looked at it recently, and I want to say it was in the 1500. So if she's getting another 200% focus, then she's gaining an extra 3000, so roughly 4500 focus for this attack, which is going to land on just about everybody. So her passive is going to be Mad Science. And on spawn, she's going to change the speed bar by plus 10% and then plus 10% per AIM ally. So I need to reread this again as we get the final text, because I believe it's plus 10% for herself and then an additional 10% per AIM ally. On her turn, she will get it. She has a 25% chance to revive an ally with 20% max health, although AIM allies will revive with 30% max health instead. On her turn, she will grant 1 to 2 ability energy to all AIM allies with a negative effect. That is insanely huge to AIM, who is very good at debuffing themselves. Though with the character reworks, that has kind of gone away a little bit, but we'll dive into that here just a little bit more. Next, we've got AIM Assaulter. AIM Assaulter's basic is a submachine gun. Will attack the primary target for 160% damage and apply bleed for 2 turns. The special Hyperdose will attack primary target for 250% damage. If this character has a negative effect, bonus attack the primary target for 125% per negative effect on the target, and then gain speed up for 4 turns. The passive Juicer. On turn, change speed bar by 20% for self and adjacent AIM allies. Gain plus 15% damage and 10% max health. That changing the speed bar by 20% for self and adjacent AIM allies is going to be a huge advantage, especially for a character such as AIM Monstrosity, who is so slow. And it's just a flat speed bar change, and it's not like a speed up. So that's really good for the AIM characters. And your strategy of where you're setting them up is really going to wind up coming into play. Next, we've got my girl, AIM Security. Now, AIM Security's basic takedown will attack the primary target for 270% damage. If ability blocked, she will attack the primary target again, she'll attack the primary target for 470% damage instead, and apply slow. That's crazy. Because she's going to be taunting so much, the odds of her being ability blocked are very high, and so she's going to be hitting for nearly 500% of her base damage, and that is some really, really good damage there, and that almost puts her into shield security level of damage. Her special Charge Capacitor, she will gain taunt for 1 turn and slow for 2 turns. She'll heal self and adjacent allies for 10,000 health, plus 10% of her max health, and then she will also clear speed up on herself. One thing I've really noticed with these AIM reworks is that there's a lot of healing that's going on here for the various AIM allies or adjacent allies. There's a lot of synergy going on here, and it does a lot when you really kind of combine these effects together. So her passive is immunization. So on attack, if Science Supreme is an ally, when she's above 75% health, she will transfer 1 negative effect from herself and each AIM ally to the attacking enemy. She also gains plus 10% max health and plus 15% resistance. AIM Infector, who I've always felt was a very sneaky play, is going to get some major changes here that really enhance the kit. So the basic Puncture will attack primary target for 270% damage, transfer all negative effects on this character to the primary target, and apply a random negative effect. The special Biohazard will change the speed bar by 75%, heal self for 10,000 plus 20% of max health, gain 2 counter, apply 2 counter to adjacent AIM allies. The passive Metabolism, on turn, gain 2 random negative effects for 2 turns, gain 10% speed, gain 15% max health, and then on turn, if they're given offense down, Infector will gain offense up for 2 turns. If Infector gains defense down, Infector will gain defense up for 2 turns. And if they gain slow, they'll gain speed up for 2 turns. Now, AIM Researcher here is, and I'll go into this a little bit later, although the rework is nice, Researcher is the one, in my opinion, that you just don't bother using unless you have some real need for it. Now, Researcher will work outside of an AIM team, so there is some utilization, but when I go into some theory crafting here a little bit later, we'll talk about some team comps and positioning. So, AIM Researcher's basic Wounding Shot will attack the primary target for 280% damage and apply offense down for 1 turn. The special Surgery Drone will heal lowest health ally and adjacent allies for 7,000 health plus 15% of this character's max health, and flip bleed on the lowest health ally and adjacent allies. Passive Antidote
On turn, choose one random ally to apply one random positive effect from this list. Offense up, defense up, speed up, regeneration, death proof, or deflect. If the ally is AIM, then apply 2 random positive effects instead. When a negative effect is applied to an AIM ally, fill this character's speed bar by plus 20%. Now my boy AIM Monstrosity, who's been mocked ridiculously for the past year, is going to get some big changes here. And unfortunately, there are no stat changes, but with some of the effects that are going on around it, if you put Monstrosity next to Assault, then you're going to get some bonus speed to Monstrosity, which is very important. I had hoped that we would see some speed increase to Monstrosity, because, you know, if Monstrosity is only going once every third turn, that's not a big help. But let's go over the kit real quick. So AIM Monstrosity's basic is Bash. We're going to attack the primary target for 280% damage and apply defense down. The special is Sudden Evolution. Gain offense up and apply offense up to adjacent AIM allies for 3 turns, and then attack the primary target for 300% damage. This attack cannot miss. So even if AIM Monstrosity has been blinded, this attack is not going to miss. However, there's a note. Offense up happens before the attack only at ability level 7. So you need to use some of those precious ability mats those T4 ability mats to get that offense up before attacking. But if you've got that offense up on a defense down and you're attacking for 300% damage, that is going to basically one-shot just about anybody in the game. And the passive for AIM Monstrosity is Growth Spurt. So on spawn, gain defense down, but on turn, heal for 20% of max health. So AIM is getting a lot of healing going on here, not just to themselves, but to adjacent allies. And we're seeing some big benefits that have been changed to AIM in the terms of their health and their speed bar changes and the way they kind of work. There's not so much of the gain negative effects that they had in the past. So that is a huge bonus. All in all, I'm really liking this rework. I think that this is a Kree-ish level rework and something that is going to really make them a great team to look at in war, in blitz, in possibly in raids with all this healing that's going on. We'll have to see. I doubt they're really going to have a huge impact in arena, but we're just going to have to wait and take a look and see how that goes in the future. Next up, we are finally getting Agent Coulson. That's right, Agent Coulson, the unkillable man, is coming back, or coming to the game finally after his announcement what seems like forever ago. So his basic is Night Gun, and he will attack the primary target for 230% damage, plus chain to 2 to 4 adjacent targets for 180% damage. Counterattacks will break that chain. He will change his speed bar of the primary and secondary targets by negative 20%. Now, I may be the only one, but I will admit to being slightly disappointed that we have an ability called Night Gun that doesn't stun. Now, I know stun on basic would be a phenomenally powerful ability, but it's called Night Gun. So that's just me personally, but let's go on. A special EMP punch will attack the primary target for 200% damage, and then attack all other enemies for 150% damage. On ward defense, he will transfer 4 positive effects from the primary target to all non-minion shield allies, and then will flip all positive effects on primary target. He will remove all positive effects from all enemies, and then apply slow to all tech enemies. This is going to be devastating to a power armor team. It's going to absolutely crush them. Now, Coulson is going to work best with like Captain America, Quake, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. Non-minion, or Fate and Fury, non-minion shield agents. So things to consider when putting him on war defense. Now, the other important thing to notice here is that he is our first war defense character. And that is something that we are likely to see change in the future as they put a little bit more emphasis on defense rather than offense. So Coulson's ultimate is Teamwork. He will apply offense up to all shield allies. On war defense, he'll clear all positive effects from the enemy with the most damage. He'll apply defense down and taunt to the enemy with the most damage. He'll then call 2 allies with the most damage to attack the enemy with the most damage, and then attack all enemies for 280% damage. This ultimate's got a lot going on here, and I cannot wait to see it in action. If it does what it reads like, this could wind up being an absolutely crushing and devastating attack for anybody on the opposing team. Now, his passive is the Agent. If Coulson drops below 50% damage, he will change the speed bar of Shield Medic by 60%. And then on war defense, he will gain 40% max health. All shield allies also gain 40% max health. On spawn, he'll apply immunity to all shield allies. He'll gain 120% resistance, and then all shield allies also gain 120% resistance. So this character is really a war character that seems to be his big thing here. Is he's defending the shield helicarrier, as we saw in the movie Avengers. So he's a very niche character, and we'll just have to see how he works with some of these shield changes that we also see. So Nick Fury is getting a change. In war, shield minions and Nick Fury buffs, Assault, Fury, Operative, will also affect Coulson, but only in war. Shield Medic special will always revive Coulson if he is dead, in addition to her normal 20% chance to revive a shield ally. Her special will also now heal all shield for bonus health, not just shield minions. So Medic becomes one of those characters that's almost a must-have on this team. I need to find out if it will continually revive Coulson if he's dead, because that can be absolutely devastating. And I want to see what happens in war if you kill Coulson but lose the match. You come back, Medic throws up a revive, and Coulson will come back. Quake also is getting a change, and that her special will also slow now, as well as removing buffs from the enemy. And then finally, we are getting some changes to Wolverine. So Wolverine's special will change to read: if Phoenix is an ally, the primary target takes increased damage. If Psylocke is an ally, this attack cannot be counterattacked. And if Cyclops is an ally, all secondary attacks have 100% chance to crit. On passive, he's going to gain 5% speed for each X-Men ally. This is going to be really nice, and it really kind of puts him as a linchpin, cornerstone of a X-Men team. Since we don't have Cyclops yet, and we don't know when Cyclops is coming into the game, then we can see Phoenix with Psylocke, Storm, Colossus, and Wolverine just doing some absolutely wreckage and damage. Now that we've gone through all these kits, let's talk about what we are going to do with our new AIM team. Because unfortunately, we don't have enough to make 2 teams, and we do have to drop 2 members out of this team. So I really think that right now we are looking at, as a primary team here, we're looking at Graviton, Scientist Supreme, AIM Assaulter, AIM Security, and AIM Infector. Those 5 right there, I think, are going to give you the best bang for your buck on a pure AIM team, because AIM Researcher is going to work well outside of an AIM team, because she will benefit everybody. Her only real benefit to AIM is that she will apply 2 random positive effects, and then she will get a speed bar increase if a negative effect is applied to an AIM ally. But I just don't see her providing enough utility to include her on an AIM team, because Scientist Supreme is going to heal, AIM Security is going to heal, and I think the positioning here is going to allow you to really make these guys really difficult to kill. Their sustain just kind of went through the roof, and it's honestly, it's awesome. It's a bit amazing. So you may ask why I left Monstrosity off, and Monstrosity is
he is also one of those that can work really well on his own, because his only real benefit, he doesn't really gain anything from AIM allies in his own kit. He will apply offense up to adjacent AIM allies, but that's really it. Otherwise, he can work on another team, and so you can kind of piece them out for like war or blitz and get what, in my opinion, is the most bang for your buck with these characters. So positioning is going to be kind of important, and you're going to want to have those characters that apply adjacent ally effects in position to give the best benefit to those who kind of need it. So looking at this here, I really feel that you want to put Scientist Supreme in the very front. She is going to be that kind of front and center character. You want Graviton back behind her, maybe to the back left. And I'm going to put, actually, I take that back. We're going to put Graviton in one of the corners. What I want to do is I want to put shield security. I know that the typical thing is to put taunters on the outside corner, especially if they can counter or anything for the chains. But here I want to put shield security in the back right corner. So what I'm going to call the number 2 spot. And the reason for that is because AIM security is going to heal herself and adjacent AIM allies for 10,000 health plus 10% of her max health. So she's going to be healing for a really good amount of damage on her special, and that special is going to is only 3 energy. Now, here's why you want this to be so important with Scientist Supreme. Scientist Supreme is going to grant 1 to 2 ability energy to her every turn. So that taunt, now those of you that listen to my podcast or have talked to me online know that I'm a big fan of AIM security with Ultron. And the reason for that is because when you have AIM security, because she is a villain tech, anytime Ultron kills somebody, her taunt just keeps getting extended. Well, this is really going to give her a chance to do that as well, because she is going to be gaining ability energy very, very quickly, and that is going to happen on Scientist Supreme's turn, not AIM Security's turn. So every time Scientist Supreme goes, she's going to be giving 2 ability energy to AIM Security, and AIM Security is statistically one of the better tanks in the game. Had top 5 stats for armor, health, and her resistance actually is very, very high as well. And she's going to gain bonus resistance because of her rework. So this is going to be really, really important. Now, here's the problem, right? And here's the one drawback I see that could cause this having issues, is that when she's attacked, because Scientist Supreme is an ally, she will transfer 1 negative effect from herself and each AIM ally to the attacking enemy, which means that when she gives herself slow, she's going to be giving it away when she's attacked. So I'm not a fan of that, and I really feel like that detracts from her kit. If that wasn't in there, her and Scientist Supreme together would be absolutely amazing. So let's talk about the number 3 spot here. So in the number 3 spot, I'm going to throw in Assaulter. I want to put AIM Assaulter here because AIM Assaulter on his passive is going to change the speed bar for both himself and adjacent AIM allies. So you're speeding up Scientist Supreme, you're speeding up whoever we put in the number 5 spot, probably Graviton, I'm thinking at this point. Assaulter is still still got some of the highest damage in the game, and it's going to be absolutely insane what Assaulter is going to wind up being able to do, especially when paired with Graviton, who we're going to put in this number 4 spot here. So Graviton is going to give all the minion allies plus 20% damage, plus 20% max health. in war, he's going to slow down the high speed enemy, which is going to AIM, in my opinion, is really kind of almost like an anti-defensive shield team. But they work really well with they could work very well with a lot of different teams. And I personally can't wait to try them out. So we're going to put Graviton over there in the number 4 spot. And Graviton's going to be our main damage dealer. Now, unfortunately, have not seen any stats on Graviton yet. I don't know how fast he's going to be. I don't know what the turn order is going to look like just yet. But we already know that Assaulter is going to hit really, really hard. So if Graviton even comes close to that, it's going to be crazy. And I may wind up moving it. Moving Graviton to the number 5 spot next to Assaulter, so that Assaulter is making him go faster, and then putting Infector next to Security, so that Infector is getting the health. It's really kind of a tough call. The spacing here, because of the adjacent ally thing, is really, really, really going to play a huge part. Now, if you're playing against a Magneto team, this is really going to help you out a lot. In fact, I can see AIM having a lot of anti-Magneto synergy with their kit, because when they're all clustered together, the adjacent ally is basically everybody. So that's going to be absolutely huge. Now, in that final spot, again, AIM Infector. Now, I have always kind of thought AIM Infector was going to be that sneaky play. And the reason for that is because Infector has really been... he was Psylocke before Psylocke, and so he would take negative effects, apply them to the enemy he was attacking. Now, he's not obviously as good as Psylocke, because Psylocke kind of pulls everybody's, but he does take his negative effects and gives them to the primary target, and now he's going to actually add an additional negative effect. That's going to be crazy. He is going to be applying negative effects left and right, because on turn he's going to gain 2 random negative effects for 2 turns. Now, the counter is that on this, if he gets offense down, defense down, or slow, he's getting the opposite buff to kind of counteract that. Now, that's not exactly the way it works, but he is gaining some benefit here. So anytime Infector gets a negative buff, he's going to get the positive version of that buff as well. He's also going to heal himself on his special, which is, again, only 3 energy. And with Scientist Supreme, these guys are going to be getting energy left and right based on her passive. And if that is a T4 for her passive, I really think that's worth it. I really, really do, because as we know, energy is one of the most important things in this game, because of needing to get these ultimates off as quickly as possible. So, again, looking here, you can see I've got Scientist Supreme front and center. I've got AIM Security in the number 2 spot. I've got Assaulter in the number 3 spot. I've got Infector in the number 4 spot. And I'm going to put Graviton in the number 5 spot, so that he's getting the bonus speed from Infector. Now, I'm a little torn here, because Infector will give 2 counter to adjacent AIM allies. It may be more worthwhile to put Scientist Supreme on a corner instead, because Scientist Supreme does not care about adjacent allies. So we may be able to move Scientist Supreme around. We're going to have to, again, this is all speculation, because I haven't had a chance to play with the kit. I'm just kind of spitballing and looking at it right now. But that is the 5 that I would go with. I have used AIM. I've been farming AIM. Here is my AIM roster. And you can see that, my AIM's all, 20, 30,000, creeping up there. They're all gear 10. So not all of them are gear 10, but you can see that I've got quite a bit put into my AIM, and I've been working on them for a while. So I am really excited. I think that it's going to be absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I know I didn't spend a whole lot of time on Coulson or Wolverine, and I apologize for that. Maybe I'll cover them a little bit more at a later time. But for anybody that is knows my show and listens to me on a regular basis knows that I have talked up AIM for a while. So people have joked around that it's been my turn. It's finally my turn to get the last laugh. And I really think that with this rework, we are going to see AIM again. They're going to be decent raid team. They'll be a great war team. They will be a really good blitz team. I don't think they're going to be an arena level team, but we'll have to see because there are some things in their kit that really work well, especially against some of the current meta, with Magneto, Ultron, and Phoenix. So I'm definitely going to try it out and see how it goes, and I will let everyone know how it works. So guys, please leave me a comment in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video and what you think overall of this content. I'd like to hear your opinions. What do you think of the new AIM rework? What do you think of Coulson? What do you think of Wolverine? Are we finally seeing some shifts in the characters that are going to maybe break up the meta or not? So let me know. And until next time, keep fighting, true believers.